Hi, I'm Lillian McCullough, and welcome to Teen Talk. I have with me today Austin Cleese. Austin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Austin Cleese. I go to Juniata College to study mathematics.
So, this is your first year in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went to Montoursville for high school.
Yep.
And have you ever struggled with or currently struggling with mental health?
Currently, no, but in the past, I have been diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder, and I've been medicated for about a year, and I stopped about summer of 2023.
Could you elaborate on why you stopped? Was that a personal choice or like a medical choice?
Oh no, it was a personal choice. I felt like I didn't need the medication anymore, and I felt like there were more side effects to the medication than benefits. I thought there were more benefits than there were negatives to it. So I
Have
stopped.
you struggled with anxiety since you've been off it, or would you say that it's kind of the same?
No, it's been much better since I've moved out of the house into college, but sometimes I'll get a panic attack and I'll be really panicky, breathing real fast, but those are once in a blue moon, I'd say.
So would you say that high school, what would be better for you, high school or college? What was the better one for you?
College is much better than high school, in my opinion. College is there's less structure to it, and there's less fear of being exactly on time, or the grading system is much looser in college. And grading, the highest you can get is an A. You can't go from a 95 to a 96 to a 97. There's not that individual percent improvement. It's just a letter improvement. So a low A is the same as a high A in your grading. So that puts off a lot of stress on the student, I'd say.
So when you were in high school and you were probably, was it senior year you had the anxiety was the worst for you?
Yeah, junior year was my worst.
Junior. So what helped you through that? Those really hard times for you?
On my Snapchat, I had a private story where I put my closest friends, the people who I felt could comfort me if I was having a real hard time. And when I was going through those hard times, I would just write out all my emotions and hit send on that private story. Kind of like a calling out for help. And these people who I put on the story will text back and say, hey, are you okay? You want to talk? And it really was this bubble of insurance that I had, and it felt real good.
Do you still have that, or obviously you probably wouldn't use it as much now, but if you feel if something were to happen, you would still have those close people for you?
Yes.
So in college, you're not out of state. You're about an hour or so?
2 hours.
2 hours away. So would you say your mental health would be better or worse if you were further away from home?
Honestly, I think it'd be about the same. It's just that separation that I feel is great. A feeling of growing as a person. It's a great feeling.
Kind of get to be on your own, doing your own thing.
You don't really get that in high school. Wait until you get out of school and into a college or a workforce before you feel. Can you help me out here?
You can kind of know what really
what life is really like. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What would you say in high school was something that really bothered you about how the school handled things, making it more stressful than it needed to be?
Other than the percent grade, the 96, 97s, transferring to an A or an A minus. Other than that, the teachers at high school, I think it's fair to say you can't see them as friends very much, because they're so much older than you and they have to act professionally. But in college, you kind of build a closer bond to your professors than you do with the high school teachers. And also in college, you have more of it's kind of like a small town, kind of like here in Montoursville, but in this town, you're forced to interact with other people, and you make friends with other people in far out industries other than where you are. So I feel like it's much easier to make friends in college than in high school. The grades are much more lax, and it's just more enjoyable.
Yeah. You're living on campus, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a roommate?
I do.
How's that experience for you?
Well, I've had 2 roommates. My first one, he was messy.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite roommate that I've ever had.
Okay.
I've only had 2. He would leave his stuff all over the ground, and he would get very angry at his video games.
Oh my gosh.
No, but for different reasons other than that, he moved out, and I brought in someone else, like a close friend of mine, and we've just been great ever since.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were to, like, thankfully you do have someone that you're rooming with that is a close friend of yours that you can talk to and bond with.
Yeah.
Would you say it'd be, like, harder for someone if they lived with someone that didn't have that close relationship with the person that they were rooming with?
Well, that gives you the great opportunity to build that close friendship with your roommate. Don't see roommates as like the scary person that you don't know. You will get to know them within like a week's time, and you guys will become close friends. If depending on which college you go to, if you're taking a anonymous roommate, you fill out a form saying all the things that you do, like if you sleep early or late, if you're messy or clean, and then the college will match you with a person that they think will fit you most, and that like ensures that you'll become a close friend with them. I just got pretty unlucky.
Just with that first one,
Yeah,
but
with
you
the
got
first
lucky with the second one.
Yeah.
So what is something that you think, like obviously I've only been in the high school for 2 years, you were in here all years, and I've noticed through a few people that I've talked with that they think that more should be done about mental health, like awareness throughout the school. What's your opinion on that?
Mental health is an incredibly important thing to me. Not a lot of money goes, from the school's perspective, not a lot of money goes into mental health, and that's getting better over time, but it's still not there yet. I looked it up earlier today, and 180,000 people are harmed by mental health, or children are harmed by mental health each year. And that's like 14% of all the mental health, but 14% of all damages to the human body, like casualties, 14% of that are children. And I feel like there's not enough money or activity going on around mental health.
What's something that you think could or should be done to kind of improve that awareness and have people talk more about it?
You can talk more about it in school board meetings, get more of the teachers to actively, not passively, like if you talk to a teacher then they will talk back, but actively have a teacher say that they are here for your mental health. Make that an active choice. I feel making more active choices to make students know that there is care for them in the school industry.
And one thing that like Mary said is that there's not a lot of like there's obviously posters around the school with like the numbers to call, but there's not like anything else done about it. And we were talking to each other that we think maybe like an assembly like once a year at the beginning of the year to talk about it and make sure that students are aware like who's here for you.
I think what would be like more helpful than having an assembly is having, on the first day we all meet with our homeroom teachers. Make it required for the homeroom teacher to talk to their students, make it a conversation about mental health and where they can go to get help.
And I think that like we all have like our favorite teacher that we can go to for anything. And I know I have a few teachers that I talked to. One of them retired last year and she was like quote unquote my best friend. But I feel like having that is really helpful to at least talk to an adult, because we always have your best friend, you can talk to them, or you have your group of people that you can talk to, but an adult I feel has more experience to give more advice towards that. And you had that in high school too, which I know was very helpful. Another thing that I was really glad that you reached out for being on here is the fact that you're a guy. And like, I've been trying to get, like, obviously I'm trying to get different grades and different ages, different life experiences, different mental health disorders. But the only people that are reaching out to me have been women so far. You're the only guy.
Really?
Yeah, and that's like really like a statistical thing that guys just don't want to talk about it. And do you like, obviously I don't really understand that from like a woman's perspective, but do you like kind of understand why people don't really want to talk about it?
Men are so bad at sharing their emotions.
Yeah.
I think it's more of like a nature versus nurture thing. The generations before us, not so much with like the millennials, but like before that, they really instilled like this gender dynamic where men cannot be emotional, and that has came down to the millennials, and then parts of that came down to us.
So with people not wanting to talk about it, obviously I'm very open about my mental health. You're very open about it.
Yeah.
What would you say like helped you like being so open about it?
It was more like my friends who were also talking about their mental health to me. That was a very eye-opening experience, because like us men, we don't know if we're talking to like other men who have this gender stereotype put into us. Men don't talk to other men very often about their mental health, and that keeps it like as its own bubble where each individual person won't talk about their health because no one else is talking to them about their health. So like I was talking to other people and they would tell me about their struggles and I would listen. That made me remember or kind of figure out that I could talk about how I feel, and there was a lot of feeling in there. I was incredibly depressed for like my sophomore and junior year. I didn't show it very well because of gender stereotypes.
Yeah.
But I was, and it wasn't until people started talking to me that I figured out that I could get help for how I'm feeling. It's not just a normal thing.
And I know, like, I never really thought about it until, like, I had a lot of stress build up during my 9th grade year, and I realized I don't think this is normal to be, like, this upset, and I cried a lot and had anxiety attacks a lot, and the reason that I started, like, opening up about it was my mom actually came to me and she said, I'm here for you, and I don't think this is, like, this should be happening. I think we should get you some help. And I was really, like, not open to the idea of, like, taking something for it, because I just thought, like, well, like, I feel like I should just be able to get over it and I'll be fine. And
I felt the same.
Yeah. And then I did start taking stuff for it, and I still do, and I just feel so much better now. And then other people will come to me, and obviously I'm not going to tell anyone like, oh, you need medication, but like they'll come to me and like, this, you can talk to someone about it if it's not just me. Like, I'm always someone can talk to, but talk to like your parents about it and just say like, I don't think this is something normal that I'm feeling. So did you ever have like that moment where you thought, oh, this is normal, everyone goes through this?
To my memory, I didn't have that kind of thinking. I was more just like trying to push down my thoughts. So like I wouldn't like actively think about them, but they were still in the back of my mind affecting me day in and day out. I just didn't actively think about it as much as I really should have.
And since you were trying to hide it and push it down, what was something that like you kind of said to yourself to push those thoughts down?
I just got really good at training myself not to pay attention to those thoughts. It wasn't me saying something to put them down. It was the lack of saying something that kept them down.
And did you, like, when you started talking to people about it, did you, like, feel better, like, instantly, or did it take a little bit for you to feel better?
Oh my goodness, at first I was terrified of telling other people that I was anything but that goofy guy that everyone knows. Like you know me, I'm just some goofy, rambunctious little guy.
Yeah.
Or big guy, I'm 6'2". But like, to break that mold of what everyone thought I was very terrifying to me. So it wasn't until like a very close friend, just one person said, Austin, do you want to talk? You seem like you're having a tough time. That's really what broke it for me.
So having that person to just go, and if you notice someone like looking like they're struggling, just talking to them
Mhm.
is one thing that could really help.
Yeah, you can say, if you don't want to talk, that's okay. What I'm seeing is that there's a shift in you, and I hope that you're okay.
Mary talked about in the last one that nature was really something that made her feel calm. Is there a place or a thing that makes you feel better when you're kind of down in the dumps?
Not a place, but like, I don't have a place that makes me feel better like Mary does in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more just like talk to a person I like, and sometimes forget about what's going on in other aspects of my life, or sometimes confronting them head on.
So like having your friends is kind of like your place.
Yeah.
Just anywhere
Definitely.
where you can just talk with them.
Yeah.
Have they ever come to you like talking about their struggles?
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's how I realized that mental health was a thing that I needed to take care of. Was when other people would come to me talking about their serious issues.
Mm-hmm. And how do you like handle like if someone came to you and said like I need help and I'm struggling? How do you handle that?
I'm sort of like the therapist friend.
Yeah.
A lot of people come to me and talk to me about their issues, and I'll sit down, I'll genuinely listen, I'll talk to them, I'll kind of like prod around a little bit. Don't do that.
Yeah. But having that person that is there for you, or the
Mhm.
many people that are there for you, and not trying to push it down, like
Mhm.
being able to say something.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know if someone is open to talking about it, you start the conversation, and maybe they'll start the conversation with you.
But what you can do if a person doesn't want to talk about it, don't force them to talk about it. Just
Mhm.
say that you are an opportunity for them to talk
Mhm.
about it.
And I like to end every episode with an inspirational quote from my guests. So Austin, what is your inspirational quote?
Don't drink and drive. It's bad for you.
Well, thank you, Austin, and we will see you on the next episode of Teen Talk.
Bye.